destruction, great chaos, where people just act on impulse, act like a bunch of animals when your economy collapses. Go on.
St. John 14, verse 6.
I got two readers, not just one.
Verse 6. Yahawashi saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life.
Right. Yahawashi said, I am the truth, I am the way, and I am the life. That goes back to what I said earlier before. There's only one way to life, and it's what we have. All right? It's through Yahawashi.
That's how you gonna make it.
That's the only way you're going to enter into life and be saved.
Right.
If you ain't going through that way, you can best forget about it. You're going to die to death and you're going to be destroyed. Okay? Now, you can say that we fear-monger and all of this other stuff. Well, I got bad news to say to y'all. The prophets were fear-mongers. Okay? They were selling fear. Yes, they were. Because fear was going to happen. Go on.
Isaiah 33, verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability
of thy time.
Of thy times.
Right.
And strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure.
Exactly. So this is why we're able to stay, in mind in the days of Satan. Okay? As we just read, if you could go back and read that, brother. Did you have before?
Oh, yeah. Ephesians 6, 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world.
Of darkness against this world. So wait a minute. When you come into this truth, what you gotta recognize is that you're coming up against the powers that be. And that's why the powers that be, as it says in the Matthews, they're gonna want to put us to death. Because we're coming up against them. And guess what? If we remain in the midst of their New World Order, we're going to upset their New World Order. And they know this very well. So those that negate the chip or the RFID microchip, in their eyes, it's going to be declared, okay, they're the enemies of this government. So we gotta put them to assassination. Okay? Because we're going up against the powers that be. And they shit themselves. Go on, brother. I want you to read that again. I'm sorry.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness
against the
of
rulers
this world.
Of darkness against this world. All right. Now, when you look at all these different religious sects of people, they're not really a threat to the government. The Hebrew Israelites, namely Great Millstone, is a threat to this kingdom. Why? Because we're the same prophets that were back 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, proclaiming the downfall of the world that we was in at that time. Now there was a time you had the Assyrians, you had the Babylonians, and you had prophets that were proclaiming the downfall of ancient Babylon to Nebuchadnezzar. No pictures, sir. You can take a picture on the side. All right? And guess what? Nebuchadnezzar, he didn't understand the dream. And you can read this in the book of Daniel, the 4th chapter. Right? So then he had his other wise men to try to break the dream down, and they couldn't break it down. But guess what? Daniel the prophet could break it down. What Daniel was saying, look, your kingdom's going to fall, and the Persians and the Medes are going to take your kingdom. And then after the Persians and the Medes, the Greeks are going to take their kingdom. That's what he was breaking down to. All right? The statue represented the kingdoms. So in other words, what am I really saying here? When the prophets of the Lord were on the scene, they represented the downfall or the end of a society.
Right.
Now I want you to somebody get me Jeremiah 28:8 one more time. We're coming into the times of the end. Where all kind of hell is going to break loose, and we as brothers, we got to remain faithful to the truth, man. Go on, brother. What you got? Yeah, 28:8. Brother, you can give me Daniel 12:1.
This is Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against kingdoms, and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Right, so we prophesied about war and of evil and diseases. That's what the word pestilence means. It means diseases. We prophesied against these things. And guess what? We're doing the same thing now. What are we prophesying about? More like a war that's going to happen. We also prophesied of race wars happening. All right? Diseases happening, which Esau got in his basement factory somewhere. ready to release. So we also preach about that sometimes. Okay? And that's our message. We're not like the Christian churches where you put a suit or tie on and lie to your damn ass so that we can get paid and drive in a jet plane. No, that's not what we're doing here, because we know we pervert the Lord, the word of the Lord, we're going to be condemned and destroyed. So we'd rather not go that route with the Lord, and we'd rather tell you the truth, man. Go on, bro.
Daniel 12 verse 1, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, withstanding for the children of thy people.
Right.
And there shall be a time of trouble.
Right, and there shall be a time of trouble, since is what?
Such as never was since there was a nation.
Okay.
Even to that same time.
So there's going to be a time of great trouble since there was a nation. Now, we can read about all of the catastrophes that happened in the past. We can read about Sodom and Gomorrah. We can read about what happened in 70 AD. We can read about all of these different previous things that have happened. Or what happened in Pompeii and Rome. Okay? Well, all of that, it's not going to compare to what's going to happen in this kingdom.
The Great Depression.
The Great Depression. All right, all the
7-year famine in Egypt.
Right, that as well. And you also have the Black Plague that happened in Europe.
Right.
So all of that together is not going to be in comparison to what's going to happen in this world. Okay, you're going to start seeing things you've never seen before. All right? Anyway, brother, what's your precept?
So 2 Corinthians 5 and 11. Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men.
Right, knowing that we know the terror of the Lord, we persuade men. Go on.
But we are made manifest unto the Most High. And I trust also are made manifest in your consciousness.
Exactly. And that's why we're out here to persuade you to be down with this truth. We're brainwashing you to be down with this truth. It ain't nothing wrong with being brainwashed. Alright, it's actually nice being brainwashed. It's what your brain is being washed from the filth of this world, man. It tells us in the book of Psalms, how should a young man cleanse his way? By the washing of the word, if I'm saying it correctly. Okay? So yeah, I've been brainwashed. This brother's been brainwashed. This brother's been brainwashed, and so is he, and as we can all see. Okay? But we've been brainwashed and conditioned to walk the right way.
So they say, and at that time thy people shall be delivered.
And at that time shall their people be delivered. And that's why it says that the Lord will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, because the elect are going to be delivered. Okay? Only a remnant is going to be delivered out of Jacob. The 144,000, and you also have the multitude, which is in the book of, Zephaniah 3 and 8. And then you also have the peaceable multitude, which is mentioned in Revelations, the 7th chapter. So they represent entirely the elect that's going to be saved. Right? Go on.
Every one that shall be found written in the book.
Right, which are the prophets, which are those that believe. They're going to be found written in the book, and they're going to be saved. Go on, bro.
I've got a precept for you on what you were saying about brainwashing. 1 Corinthians 1 and 10. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord, Yahawashi HaMashiach, that you all speak the same thing, that there be no division among you.
And that's a great aspect of this truth, that we all speak the same thing. Because if you have a unity camp of all of these different guys out there, the one's teaching that the Arabite should be sleeping permanently, the other one's teaching that it is an embargo, the other one's teaching that it is the Christian church. How are you coming together in unity? You're not coming together in unity. You're divided. Okay? That's the vision. The Most High said that we speak the same thing. Go on, brother.
It says, but that you be perfectly joined together.
That we be perfectly joined together. Go on.
In the same mind and in the same judgment.
And in the same mind and also in the same judgment. And that's why certain brothers in Great Millstone only recognize Great Millstone, because we see we're pretty much fulfilling the scriptures better than everybody else is. You got all of these different camps, forming unity camps. That's going off, man. All right, because if there's a camp now that's got the truth, and you fusing it with something else, how are people going to see clearly the truth? Give me that in Romans 16. Somebody give me Romans 16 real quick. You know the one where it says, mark them which cause division contrary to the doctrine. Romans 6 actually. It's Romans 6. No, it's not Romans 6. So a part of being a prophet or a bishop or an apostle, okay, you have to, it's Romans 16. Okay, anybody, if you got it, you got it.
Romans 16 and 17. Now I beseech you therefore, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offences contrary to the doctrine.
So what does the word beseech mean? What is Paul saying? I beg you, brethren, that you mark those which go contrary to the doctrine, man. So the word mark, the word there is scopeo. In other words, you got to put them on blast. If someone's teaching something else, you got to be confrontational about it. There's no, oh well, you know, it ain't about the doctrine, brother. It's about everybody getting together. No, it's not. It is about the doctrine. That's what it's all about. It is about the doctrine.
That's the key to salvation.
That's the key to salvation. It's the doctrine.
That's like,
Yeah, go on, brother.
that's like if you got a door, it has a certain lock, and there's only a certain key that can fit inside that lock.
Yeah.
And then you say, oh, it doesn't matter, key is a key, man. They all look the same to me. You know? You put a wrong key in, you never get inside. You can never get to the broad.
Right.
You know? In a certain way everything's got to be. The Most High is very particular about how he wants things to be.
Exactly.
He doesn't say just go and do what you like. There's a certain way things have to be.
Yep.
You know, everything's in order. Like in the church, in the temple, the Most High described how he wants the temple to look.
There you
How
go.
the vessels, you know what I'm saying, the measurements, everything has to be, the Most High is very particular how he wants things to be done, the temple to be done. Like he doesn't want us any old Negro on the truth. Because this is the temple.
Yep.
The Most High wants certain spirits within this church, in this tabernacle. Oh, it don't matter about the doctrine. That's bullshit, man. That's bullshit, man.
We should all come together, brother, and what they'll do
They don't
is
understand the Lord.
right, and they'll read the book of Psalms. There's a verse of Psalms that says, it is very cool, it is very good, I'm roughly paraphrasing, to see brothers in unity. So they'll use that scripture to justify their bullshit, man.
Right.
This is Galatians 5 and 9. A little leaveneth the whole lump.
There you go. A little leaven of the whole lump. And you know what that goes into, right? Because let's say you making bread, and you add a little bit of leavening in that bread dough. Guess what? That bread is going to rise. Okay? That bread is going to rise. So even a little wickedness is going to destroy the whole thing. Okay? So we have to be complete and pure with what we're teaching and how we're walking the word of the Most High. Alright? Not doing what we want to do because this brother's cool and that brother's cool and this guy's cool. Now fuck all of that.
That's right.
Let's read Romans 16 again, brother.
Romans 16 and 17. Now I beseech you, now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offences contrary to the doctrine.
Right, and offenses contrary to the doctrine. And that's why you won't see no stone camp going into a unity, the unity camp thing. Why? Because we know that if we do that, then we're justifying evil. We're perverting or perverting the gospel. Because if you got one group saying one thing and another group saying another thing, how you going to clearly see the truth? You won't clearly see the truth. So we're clearly bringing out the truth as it stands. Why? Because we're not linking up with IUIC and GOCC and the likes. We're not doing all of that. We're purely bringing forth the doctrine. Okay?
Jake's got
And that woman, she is old as hell, man. But that's what Jake like. Jake like those obesity women, man. That's what Jake like, man. Oh, that's unhealthy too, man. I mean, and he's skinny too. The man's skinny, so if she's on top of him, he could actually die, man. Stop the motion. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't good, man. That ain't right, man. I would actually feel embarrassed walking with that. Then jump right on top of your ass, man. You know?
Can I say something?
Yeah, the body slam, right.
Sometimes in Jamaica, when you see things like that, they say that the woman put a tie on him. In Jamaica, right, you know, Benjamin, they say when you see a woman, an ugly woman with a decent, you know, standing man looking, good standing, they say that the woman tie him. That means done some kind of witchcraft on him. So there's a lot of witchcraft around, you know, when you see certain things, when you see a man that could get girl, but he's with an uglier woman. there's witchcraft in the air, so that's why that kind of thing happens. You know what I mean?
And you know what it is as well, because even in Haiti they do that too. They do that kind of, they do the same thing. Like what they'll do is they'll put the vaginal juice in the food.
Yes.
He eat the food.
Period blood and all that. Yeah.
Right, and he wonder why he's so addicted to this. That's what Jake be doing. That's the shit that Jake is doing, man.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things out there. Even when you're buying fruit, you have to be careful when you go to certain West Indian shops.
And you buy those cakes, you know those dark cakes.
Because they want you to keep coming back. So there's things that women, you know, you have to pray over your food. That's why the most I say, pray over your food.
Yeah. And that's just the thing, man. Because like I said, that's just disgusting. That's the crap. You ain't gonna see me walk around here like that. That means that you ain't got no stamina. That means you're loose. You have no stamina with yourself. You have no valuability. Okay. That's just the thing, man. But even if they do look all right, they're all a mess any doggone day. And I ain't really got the time to be dealing with these women anyway, man. It's just a waste of time, and you ain't getting nowhere. All it's going to end up is that you're going to have to do all of the work, do all of the provision, and she's not going to do a damn thing. All right? She's not going to do what she's supposed to do. And my mentality is this. If she ain't the A1, or if I'm not dealing with A1 people, I don't want to be dealing with them. That's my mentality. Whether you're a woman or a man, if you ain't got the shoe, let me put it this way. If you ain't down with the truth, I'm not messing with you. I might say, hey, how you doing? And then we keep it moving. All right, go on, brother.
Amos 3:3. Can two walk together except they be agreed?
Right, can two walk together except they be agreed? No, they cannot walk together. Okay? Because they agree with one thing and I agree with another thing. So there's no companionship there. But I want to get back to the point, though. Let's get back to the point. Okay, yeah, finish that.
This is stuff. Yeah. Romans 16 and 17.
Because at times I'm kind of known to jump around. Go on.
Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offences contrary to the doctrine which ye have learnt, and avoid them.
And that's the job of an apostle or a prophet. They're supposed to condemn a doctrine that's contrary to that which is of the truth. We're not supposed to get together with unity camps and all this other nonsense.
Right.
Okay? The unity begins when we all can see the same thing all together. Right. We all see eye to eye. That's the true unity.
Yeah.
Not when one guy is saying one thing and another guy is saying a different thing, and we still all gotta come together. That's just being simple. That's all emotions, man. Okay, we gotta dead that. Gotta dead that kind of spirit, man. You know? So we're done with that, yeah? Yeah, do what you got, man.
1 Thessalonians 5 verse 4. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness.
Right, it says, but ye, brethren, ye are not in darkness, Lord.
That day should overtake you as a thief.
In the night. Give me that in Matthew, what is it, 24? Matthew 24, verse, I got it right here. Yeah, let me just get these two precepts in. It says, start from verse 42. I want you to read that again.
Right. 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 4. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief.
That day shall overtake you as a thief. What is that day referring to? The day of the Lord. Okay? Now, if you're in darkness like the rest of these idiots out here, just calling it for what it is, because most of them are idiots, and they dress like idiots too, then you're not going to know when the day of the Lord is coming. It's going to be, the day of the Lord is going to take you as a thief in the night. Alright? You're not going to know what hit you. You're going to have a heart attack, because you're going to start seeing things that you were not used to seeing before, okay? And you're going to go crazy, man. But those that are of the light are going to see the thief coming. Now we're going to find what the thief is talking about.
Matthew 24:42. Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up.
Right.
Therefore, be ye also ready, for in such an hour as you think not, the Son of Man cometh.
Exactly. Give me there's another one too in I believe it's in Timothy, 2 Timothy, I believe it's 1 Timothy 5. It talks about that's the spirit. I'm in the book of Timothy right now. I think it's that's it says, you know, brethren, that the Lord so now anybody can get it, don't matter. Okay, yeah, all right.
Day of the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. 1 Thessalonians 5.
Yes, Thessalonians.
The same chapter.
Okay.
Let me start from verse 1. For the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly.
And we know that this is talking about Paul. So who's Paul's brother? Now, when you read the scriptures, you'll think, okay, I'm a part of this too, because Paul said I'm a brethren. But we got to find out who the brethren is. We know what to do. Let's get Romans the 9th chapter. See, this is what we do in Great Notion. We go into different detail and backing up the precepts that we go into. All right, let's find out who Paul's brethren are.
Romans 9 and 3.
Keep going.
For I could wish that myself were accursed from Yahawashi, for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites.
Right, who are Israelites. So that means vocab is not a part of this. That means all of these different Edomitic Christians ain't a part of this. Okay? They're not a part of this. If you're an Edomite, you're not a part of the gospel.
That's right.
Okay? Now we gotta continue.
Say, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night.
But we know that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Go on.
For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them.
And that's what we're aware of. We're aware because right now everything's peaceful, isn't it? People get to walk around the place and, you know, get involved into being a damn fruitcake. There's this fruitcake day today, right? Or partaking in it. So everything's in safety right now. You got the cops around, keeping everything in order, making people making people feel safe and everything's cool, right? We also know that that's what the Lord is going to supplicate. Okay, and one more last precept. I want to have another speaker come. Give me what is it? 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter. You know what I want. Connects right with the precept you just read. Everything is safe and sound and it's cool. It's Saturday. And
2 Peter chapter 3. What verse should I start from?
you know, it's about they came what is it, eating and drinking and been into marriage. They came Nah, it's in there, brother. It's in Peter's. It's in there.
And they were eating and drinking.
Yeah. And he makes reference as into Sodom and Gomorrah. Right, as in the days of Noah. That's it right there. Not Sodom and Gomorrah, as in the days of Noah.
Yeah, that's right.
For sure. That's not the one, brother. That's not what I'm looking for.
This is Luke 17 verse 27. And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man, right?
You know, you can read that, but I want you to get the one in Peter's though. You already got it in this one. So we shall listen.
The days of Lot. Time of Lot.
Yeah, that's the one I kind of wanted. But we can read that though. Let's read that. Yeah, you're right. Your brothers are right. Yeah, go on.
So it said, and as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man.
Right.
They did eat.
Yep.
They drank. They married wives. Mm-hmm. They were given in marriage.
Right. In other words, they were having sex. Okay. They were enjoying themselves. Go on.
until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all.
And destroyed them all. So they wasn't prepared, they wasn't aware of the flood to come. So it's going to be in like manner. So when people are doing their thing and acting like a bunch of children, as they are, mentally in mind, right? The day of the Lord is going to come, and pretty much they're going to be found naked, and they're going to be destroyed. Okay? So yeah, let's read. So yeah, keep if you got any more on that.
Likewise also, as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven. And
do that again. Read that again.
likewise also, as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold,
Right?
they planted, they builded.
Right, they planted, they built it. Okay, go on.
But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven,
And that's how it's gonna be
destroyed them all.
That's how it's going to be today. Because see what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah. You literally had brimstones that pelted the city down.
Yeah.
Now the modern day brimstones, which is going to be interchangeable, is those missiles. Those missiles are going to drop ground zero and pelt these cities. Pursuant to 2 Peter's the 3rd chapter, as I'm going to get right now.
Right.
So let's read that.
2 Peter's 3 and 3. Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts, and saying, where is the promise of his coming?
Oh, the end ain't coming my time, so it ain't gonna come in your time. You know how we know the end is gonna come in this time? Is we're able to see the prophecies unlike everybody else. Everybody else is watching X Factor, everybody else is watching EastEnders, and while they're watching these different shows, prophecies are coming to pass. So they wouldn't know a damn thing any doggone way to make that statement. So let's read on.
For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. Verse 5. For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of the Most High the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water.
Right, keep on.
Whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perished.
Right.
But the heavens and the earth, which are now,
Right, but the heavens and the earth which are now going,
by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire.
so this world is set up and preserved onto fire. That fire is that it's going to come out of those nuclear missiles. Okay, we can also call it the ICBM missiles, which stands for intercontinental ballistic missiles. They're going to go from one continent to another continent, and when it hits ground zero, kapoof. Okay, keep going, brother.
Reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly
So
men.
it says, so I thought God was all love. I thought God was just all love, and He's just so much about love that He couldn't hurt a fly. Right? We find out something different there. Go on. Yeah, keep going, because there's another point.
Verse 8. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord. It's like, for that one day.
I tell you what, read the one where it says the elements of the shop, so I'm not prepared for you to read that scripture. No, it's in there. It's in Peter's. The elements shall melt before you.
Okay, God. This is verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
So if you're into cartoon land, such as these people are, you're not going to be aware of what's to come. It's going to take you as a thief in the night. It's going to mean it's going to come suddenly unawares upon you. If you're in La La Land, okay, if you look at behind the camera, brother, look at these people, man. Don't put this in their mind and through their spirit that they're in La La, they're in Cartoon Network. They're delusion. Okay? As the saying goes, illusion of grandeur.
The earth also, and the floods that are therein, shall be burnt up.
Right. In other words, these buildings, these cars that you see riding around, these trucks, Okay, these restaurants, these bars, these people, everything's going to be burned up, destroyed. It says the element shall melt with fervent heat. So what element is going to melt these things? The missile. All right. Now, if you take a look at the atomic bomb they dropped in Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Japan in 1948, that was a gigantic destructive missile right there. So how much more now, being that we're in 2019, 71 years afterwards. So what we're gonna see, brothers, we're gonna see what was written in the scriptures. How the Lord have created the waste to destroy. Okay? The good days are pretty much down and over, man. For America, for Great Britain, for the world, and for the world to come. All right. We also understand that a lot of you know, it proves that the good old days are finished. Because people that get married just to get a divorce. All right? That's one aspect of it. There's no love in this world. Doesn't exist. Okay? And that kind of sort of thing. All right? So what exists right now is a cold heart and evil and wicked spirits that are floating around the place, doing evil and wicked things. And that's what's going on today. Right? All right? That's what exists today. No, if you're thinking about finding love here, then you're just ignorant. All right, you're not living in the real world. But like I said, we're gonna go all the way back to the point. This society is gonna be destroyed, man.
Yeah. That's right.
All right. Now I want you to finish that off, and I'm gonna have this brother speak. All right, yeah, forget about that. Yeah, read the last piece of that, brother.
The level? That was it. That was it.
Yeah, just one more time. Then I'll
What piece of that?
No, the one you just read before. He talks about I forgot what it was, man. You would only have to remember one song that you was reading. Yeah. Just read that one and I'll come.
It says Luke 17 and 28. Likewise also as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. So in the days of Lot, we all also understand when we read the book of Genesis chapter 19, and we find out that this was an empire that was getting ready to be destroyed, which is called Sodom and Gomorrah. So we're going to read this now. On the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all.
So two things happened. It rained fire and brimstone. So what's going to rain in this time? The missiles, okay? Some brothers say missiles, I say missiles. That's what's going to rain down on this earth. One more precept, brother. Give me Psalms 11, verse 6.
And we had 4th of July.
Proverbs 11 and 6, actually. Proverbs 11 and 6.
Was it the earthquake? Earthquake just happened over there.
You had a 7.1 or something like that.
6.6.
Or 7.6 earthquake that hit America on July the 4th.
Yeah.
So we know
symbolic. It's a symbolic. There's a symbolic meaning in there, and it rained as well on Trump's doing his address. 4th of July. It came raining down. Little things, you know what I mean?
Rain, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's really happened. You had an earthquake, and then you had some rain at the same time. Which is showing, which the Lord is letting them know. Look, I'm going to bring fire in your ass.
Right.
Proverbs,
I think it's 11 and 6. It talks about
11 verse 6.
Bring snares. Proverbs 11 and 6.
The righteousness of the upright shall deliver them, but transgressors shall be taken in their own naughtiness.
That's it. Okay, try Psalms 11 and 6. This is the last scripture I want to bring in, and I'm going to just